Hello and Merry Christmas. So this is Aaron from San Francisco. In 2025, we built three key components that will really drive our success in 2026. Number one is a comprehensive data infrastructure, which continuously ingests all the data and analyzes concentrated liquidity pools, crypto options, perpetuals, and DeFi earnings. So this is going to reveal the exact actions individuals' wallet have taken, which should generate their profit or loss. So this gives us both a macro and micro view on market winners, what they did, and how we can optimize our hedging using options, perpetuals, and the math. So number two is a proprietary backtesting system we built from scratch. This allows us to simulate a virtual liquidity positions instead of real capitals, and testing trading strategies using very high resolution historical and real-time data. So with that, we can test millions of strategies across a diverse market set of conditions to figure out the risk and return before deploying any real capital, and we can do it really fast in parallel. Number three is the deployment of some live strategies with three different focus. So number one is copy trading. Number two is on using on-chain instrument only to reduce impermanent loss. And number three is more complex, which is using multiple platforms to hedge, and including hedging with options as well. So we engineered a closed feedback loop where we have live performance metrics feedback into the AI, and the AI continuously analyze the real-time performance to fine-tune the strategy parameters and giving the optimization back to the agents as well as the simulation engine. Alright, so now let's look ahead. So 2025 gave us the foundation of all the tools that we built, but 2026 is really about production and scale. So I'm incredibly excited about the potential because we're moving towards a fully autonomous AI agent systems that don't just execute but also self-improve. That means making the hedge and liquidity systems more reliable, predictable, and stable. So the overall goal and the picture of the product is simple. So we want a reliable DeFi infrastructure eventually that lets any Harmony user tap into the earning and yield across the entire blockchain universe, not just getting locked into a local silo. So specifically, for example, one of the keys are real-time simulations. So we should be able to build agents that can calculate the Greeks for the portfolio across the liquidity, options, and perpetuals together or separately, and then run Monte Carlo simulations in real time as it performs the trades, weighted by market indicators such as current order book and open interest and volatility metrics. So that should give us a prediction of how it thinks the next 5 minutes the market would move and how it would impact P&L, weighted by the likelihood of how likely it's going to happen. And that will pre-validate some strategies in a simulated environment or in real time. It costs a lot of compute to run it in real time, but the benefit is we can, before we adjust the live hedging positions, we can get a pretty good idea on the outcome. And this is something that can improve over time. The system should be able to learn the estimation errors as it executes these things and model the uncertainty better. I think that's the key. In fact, as a fun fact, in our data, we learned that some top performing wallets in Aerodrome, they are actually very selective in terms of how they deploy the capital and liquidity positions. A lot of times they are sitting idle or deploying a very small amount rather than deploying everything they have or their maximum size capital. So they actually have a bell curve in terms of the amount of capital deployed and the amount of time they deploy that amount of capital. It's a very interesting probability distribution. So our agents should be able to mimic that kind of discipline. They should know exactly when to deploy the capital and when to stay on the sideline. So another huge area in 2026 is options. So we use them now, but frankly we could be much sharper. There are two big frontiers we're tackling here. First one is the maths. So right now the industry still doesn't have a Black-Scholes equation for on-chain liquidity positions. So we know the theoretical payout curves. There are experts like the founder of Panoptic who have done a great work explaining how liquidity position is similar to a short put in many cases. And he has written many other great articles. I highly recommend taking a look. But no one has really figured out how to calculate fee generation against option pricing, as that is still an unsolved problem. So the cool part is, for us, using AI, we don't really need to solve the theoretical problem perfectly. A lot of these things can be statistically approximated, like we already do in our Monte Carlo simulation part, which I talked before. So we can feed the AI enough data and just say, given the current implied volatility, this liquidity position probably isn't worth the hedging cost, or vice versa. By doing that, it helps us decide not just how to hedge, but also if we should be in the pool at all, or if we should be in a much smaller position, just like what I said before about dynamically adjusting this position, like many of those top profit wallets. Second thing is we are moving beyond just using simple puts and calls into a multi-legged strategy. So things like call spreads and box spreads, they are quite common in traditional finance and frankly quite standard. In crypto, it's not used that often, but it's actually a superpower because IV crash happened a lot, as that is the implied volatility spikes when major news happens. So this is especially a problem when the price goes against the direction of the option, which could lead to some major loss on the hedging positions. So multi-leg strategies is going to isolate us from that kind of craziness and giving us a much better Vega exposure, among other things. So basically by limiting our upside, we reduce our risk and cost by a huge amount. So we saw the market structure already matured significantly in 2025. We have Coinbase acquiring Deribit, as that was a massive signal. But the tooling is still lagging behind traditional finance. You can barely find any crypto option tool out there, despite crypto is mostly open source. So that's our gap to fill. So we solve these complex volatility problems in the background, and we're hoping that normal users, Harmony users, can get the sophistication of a quantitative trading system, or some people like to call Wall Street-like, but with user experience of a simple vault or simple saving account. Ultimately, I think 2026 will be the year for DeFi and agentic autonomous finance. So if you are passionate in this area or interested in collaboration, please come and talk to me. Let's make 2026 the year we make AI work for DeFi and DeFi works for everyone. Thank you.